All right. Good morning. Good Lord, as usual. Good morning, friends. I hope everyone is doing well. Thank you for coming to a la carte. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Happy Taco Tuesday to you. Yesterday I was off doing things. I had an appointment and I had some stuff to do on the stream. And today we are starting Dragon Quest HD Remake. Now, full disclosure on this little bad boy is this is my very first uh, this was my very first JRPG. Was old Dragon Warrior back in the 1980s. So this is going to be a very interesting experience. And of course, we're gonna now, if I'm not mistaken, English. Yes, Dragon Warrior. Yeah, I was kind of busy yesterday. Yes. It's okay, Whisk. You could be a good boy. He's laying. He's right here. It's like he wants love, and he's getting it. There you go. I know, bud. I know. I know. But anyway, as we get started today, guys, if you'd do me the favor and the honor of following me on Twitch, Twitter, and Rumble, subscription on YouTube would be great. I am trying my best to get to monetization. Hear me. On YouTube, and I am well far away from that. I need your help. Yes, it will. A drink. So if you've never played Dragon Quest before, what do you think of the new emotes a la carte? I made them. Or I went on a site that made them for me. Dragon Quest is basically like as old school of old school RPGs as you can possibly get. A lot of games use Dragon Quest as a template, including Final Fantasy, to make their way. Good. I am glad. Canst thou speak to me? Tis not, I can yet fight. But we find ourselves surrounded, Captain. All is surely lost. We cannot permit it to be, for should we fall, who shall remain? Okay. Oh, we just walk in and just layeth wasteth down upon the candy asses of things. Come on, baby. Ow. Too bad they start us at level 1 and we can't do any of that. We're in thy debt, stranger. Hadst not come to our aid, we might have perished. Indeed. To a whole host of monsters single-handedly is the work to best. The whole host of monsters single-handedly is the work of no ordinary warrior. Yeah, well, you know. So, the Dragon Quest is as. Oh, you like it? I'm trying to make one new for every game that I play. Oh, I like the music. Cool. I'm glad you like it. I'm trying to use a different one for every game that I play. At least different game series. I think the one I chose for Final Fantasy X too, when we get to that, will be the same one I'm using for 10. But using AI to make pictures like that is actually harder than it seems. But then again, it's because the thing in your head never. It's hard as hell to translate the paper. I tried to make it anime style, and then I tried to make it Toriyama style, but it didn't work to my liking. So this is all new as far as story goes. The Dragon Quest One, Dragon Warrior One storyline was very, very cut and dry. You just they just tell you from the start, you got to go kick the Dragon Lord's ass. That's all there is to it. Yeah, little night guy, the Dragon Lord. It looks like Vice President Dick Cheney died today. Condolences go out to his family. Listen to his words. All right. About the storyline being cut and dry, absolutely. This is already more story in this game than the original one even came close to having. PS1 game, it'd be a Final Fantasy. Comrades. Mm-hmm. Probably 7. Quite honestly, could be 7, could be 9. Hell, could be 8. Could be Tactics. Castlevania is on the list. Metal Gear Solid's on the list. Yeah, that's us. It's definitely a dream. Castlevania is definitely on the list. And that's obviously how you know that it's us. Oh, shut up. I bet you can. That's not surprising. Your acumen for Castlevania precedes you. Not surprising at all. All right, so they gave us 120 gold. I also have copper sword, leather shield. Okay, copper sword equipped is good. Actually, you just have to buy that damn thing. Medicinal herbs. And I got a world map. Just not surprising with you, buddy, that you know Castlevania inside and out. Okay, so this is as old school gets. All right. A lot of games use this as a JRPGs use this as a template as to how they want their games to go. Like I said, including Final Fantasy and games like that. Uh, you'll notice one thing about this game, and that is they did not screw with any of the mechanics or how the game plays. They saved that for Final Fantasy. They damn sure won't do it for Dragon Quest because of Japan. Uh, this is this is the Super Bowl of Japan, guys. Anytime a Dragon Quest game comes out in Japan, people call off work, people stay home. That's why they only release them on Sundays because of how popular of a game series Dragon Quest is over in Japan, and that's exactly the reason why they don't screw with the mechanics, why they don't change anything, why it's simplistic, and why it's easy to get into, is for that very reason. Is that they've had their way, they know what their audience wants, and they will not change that. So I can already tell you, one of the things that has changed is the king. In the original Dragon Quest, the king was the only place to save your game, and he would also tell you how far you're away from the next level. So you'd actually go back to the king, and he'd say, "Oh, you're 20 experience points away from level 2. Would you like to save your game?" You know, that kind of stuff. So so at least and also they start you out with stuff in this game. In the original Dragon Quest, they started you with nothing. You had to get everything yourself. Heal all. That's interesting because there shouldn't be a heal all. In the original game, you only had yourself to take care of. But you see how we have like, yeah, I don't know if Link's Grave is still here or not. The copper sword, leather shield, all the leather stuff here, none of that was in your inventory. They gave you money. Oh, Seed of Life. And get our stuff up there. I have 120 gold. I can tell you what we want to do flat out is I want to buy that iron lance. That's going to be the next thing we get for certain. I need to save up for that. Also, I want to get the hardwood hardware headwear and the leather armor Definitely want to get that stuff. Dragon Quest is simple in the way where it's still difficult though. Where yes, you're gonna have to. Okay. Well, that really makes us stronger, and it turns us into a dog. So if you die in Dragon Quest, that's a locked door. What do you want to bet? Yeah. If you die in Dragon Quest, you lose your money. So we have a dog, Shiba Inu. It's an item shop. I do like the soundtrack, but basically this is a very simplistic style of game where you start out somewhere, like where we're going to be, and we want to get the best weapons and armor this town has to offer before we move on to the next town to get the best weapons and armor they have, and so on and so forth. Now, in the original game, you only play as Edric, and he gets all of the uh, wonderful spells and everything else. He's the only guy in the whole game, but it looked like it said heal all, which makes me you think that there's more than one. Dead Space is good because it kind of keeps you guessing. Yeah, the remake. Because you don't just because that the monster has a head doesn't mean that's its weak spot. You know, the weak spots are different for every alien in that game. I think it's really cool. I want to adjust the battle speed if I can. There we go, level 2. There you go. Should go a little faster now. The Dragon Quest, yes, Dragon Quest's mascot is the slime. They've been around a long time. You'll notice that the character designs, monster designs, everything is originally designed by the late great Akira Toriyama. Oh, we missed. Uh, they probably have edited some of them. I've heard that they have edited some of these because of Western audiences. So some of the girls in the game in these games have been covered up somewhat. But it is wise to look around to see to make sure you're getting your best weapons, your best armor. The game does have no mercy, so you will go one fight depending on which square you're standing on and the map. You can go from an easy fight to having a ridiculously difficult fight. by walking across a bridge, by going over to into the woods or something like that. So just keep in mind you're always wanting to look to improve your character. Hey, level 3. Now, I know that the level cap strength didn't go up. And we learned heal though. See, we learned spells. In the original Dragon Quest, the level cap, I thought it was 16, but I looked it up last night and it said 30. So, but I know it's small. It's a very small level cap compared to other JRPGs. Highly suggest and you actually get a good a run for yourself too, where you'll figure out how the game mechanics work. You can do critical hits. They can do critical hits. You're gonna find that there's a lot of ooh, this might be difficult. Nope, it's not. Really. But highly recommended that you do this. I just remember a lot. Yeah, I remember a lot of stuff, and you thinking you're getting the next really good format, and VHS stomped everybody out until DVD. Take level 4. Laserdisc was underrated. I agree, but it ran into a big, it ran into a huge wall known as VHS. VHS was people weren't ready for new uh, uh, formats back then. They wanted what they were watching is what they wanted to watch things on. They didn't want to have to go out and buy new formats. I remember going to a local video store in my grandparents' hometown because we would go there a couple of times a year for fun to visit family, and I wanted to rent Transformers the movie. This is like 1987, 1988, and the only copy they had was Betamax. They would never get it in VHS. They only had it in Betamax. See, it's very simplistic. There's really not a lot to it to begin with, and it's all about numbers and stats and leveling and making sure you're on top of things. Betamax got stomped. They got curb stomped. Yeah, the thing about HD DVD is Sony went to, I can't remember the company. I can't remember if it was Panasonic or whoever it was, before they both launched and said, "Let's not fight. Let's get together and we'll do this." And there will only be one format. And HD DVD said, "Yeah, no, not going to happen," which was a huge mistake. But it's the thing is that Sony knew when they released the PlayStation 3 that the HD that they were going to put a. Basically, what happened was is that HD DVD had their companies that they had signed with, and Blu-ray had theirs, and then you had some tweeners and Warner Brothers. Even though Warner Brothers is in the state they are right now, during that time period, Warner Brothers was one of, if not the largest media company in the entire world. I realize now they're about the size of a McDonald's, but they were a local McDonald's, but they were very, very big, and basically both formats had come out, and then the PlayStation 3 came out, and Warner decided at that point, in like I think it was like in January or February next year, they were going to cease HD DVD and go only Blu-ray. And when that happened, it just completely destroyed any chances HD DVD had. So HD DVD folded, and Blu-ray became the predominant HD format. True ass story there, because I remember a friend of mine who's a hairdresser, about an hour that way. She called me and said her and her husband were in a, I think he's an ex-husband now, but they were in Best Buy, and they had HD DVD players on sale. And she called me and said, "Oh my God, Enigma, there's HD DVDs players. They're on sale. They're like really cheap right now. Uh, we're thinking of getting one. I know you know what you're talking about with this stuff. What do you think?" And I told her, I said, "Well, if the rumors are true that I just read yesterday that Warner has signed to do only Blu-ray, that is probably why HD DVD is going the way of the dodo bird. That's why it's on sales, because they're trying to get rid of them." And come to find out, it's exactly what happened. 292. So we're almost got enough for our. We're getting there. What do you mean by weird crossovers? That is weird, but it's an IP they own. It is a weird crossover, but it's a crossover. It's like I said, it's something that they own, so at least I don't have to pay for it. The only thing weird about that is that SNK and Capcom have been rivals for so long, but they just worked together for that fighting Capcom Fighting Evolution game. Oh gosh. Oop, there's another one up there. Let's see the stamina. So in the original version of this game, uh, they the character you start out with here is the only character you play as. Yeah, they're playing nice. Let them play nice. Don't want people fighting anymore anyway. Hey, Grizzle. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Hope you had a great weekend. It's about right. Mass hysteria. Next week I might just do Monday, stream on Monday. I'm thinking there are things I want to do with the stream for certain, but I don't want to take all Mondays off, so we'll see how I feel. Because I still have a stream deck I still don't know how to use. But I'm making thumbnails easier now. The hardest part of the thumbnails, believe it or not, is now trying to get the frickin' AIs to make something I want to use for a picture of the caricature of me. Hey, as far as I'm concerned, the Master Race and the console extremists should be getting along. We're all gamers. Whiskey. I put on some armor, Grizzled. The armor is better. The dog suit. We can put on this and it's not as good. Somebody must be here. Whiskey's losing his mind. Desi's working from home today, so... He's just trying to protect us. 170. Pretty sure it's 550 is the weapon, right? Oh, see, Whiskey, and you missed. Now there's a guy right there, and you missed a chance to bark at him. 660 is what we're looking for the that iron lance. But you get stronger, you get bigger, you get better, and you move to the next area. Exploration is a good thing. Whiskey, good Lord. Just put on that dog suit again just simply because of the defense. No, I don't want to walk around like a Shiba Inu the entire time, but Whiskey, I'm telling you, I'm gonna... Whiskey! These are noise-canceling headphones, and I can hear you. Hey! Whiskey T-Dog. What are you doing? Huh? Bah, 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 bah. Pardon me. Getting stronger is the number one thing about JRPGs. You getting levels up, getting better equipment. The game that taught me about pardon me. Saving your money and buying the best weapons and armor you can and leveling up is this game is Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest is the game that taught me how to grind, basically. Not good. Thank God. Double, thank God. Level 6. Dun, good Lord. Dun, 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 dun. Jazz hands. Gotta have jazz hands. Jazz hands. Hey, what are you doing? Was that bark just like a bark? Hey. If I come over there and close that window, you're not going to like it. You know, I'm going to come over there. he hears whiskey. School pizza was nothing more than French bread with tomato sauce and cheese on it. That's all it really was. Well, I remember used to look forward to pizza day back there in school, but when you look at it now, it's like, your random barking like that just doesn't do anybody any good. Yeah, square slices because there was just a rectangular baking sheet. That's what they put them on. Oh, my fantasy football team won. I beat the undefeated team last night, so I am now tied with him record wise. If I miss, I'm dead. There we go. Whiskey, what the hell, dude? I haven't been to see a school lunch in a long time, but it wouldn't surprise me. Critical hit would be nice. Whiskey, I swear to God. Okay, now I can see what he's barking at. You're not gonna like this. I come over there. This will be close. Good, we got it. Hey, I'll come over there. Oh, did you get the thing is, did you have your choice between chocolate milk or regular milk? Because I know when I was a kid, we had our choice. Except for that one time that I accidentally got skim milk. Tried skim milk, and if you ever had a chance to try skim milk, just do yourself a favor and don't. Skim milk is they filled the carton up with milk, and then they emptied it out, and then they filled it back up with water and shook it up. So you got the remnants of what's left in there of milk and water. There was a time we had bottles too. I moved around a lot, so I had a lot of different ones. But they had the small milk cartons that were like the wax paper. And then I went to one place. I lived somewhere where they had the boxes. They had juice boxes, not boxes. I mean bottles, where it was like a bottle, and then you had a cap on it, and you could just pull the cap off and drink it. Plastic bottle though. Back in the day. Almost got enough for our lance. We're getting there. Hey, almost. That was a long time ago though. Going to school, and I think for us pizza day was on Fridays, so they would always have pizza on Fridays. But not everything we got at the school lunch was great. To this day, I don't like celery because one of the things they'd always give you at lunch was they had this little Dixie cup about that tall, and they would put a dollop of peanut butter in the bottom of it, and then so you had peanut butter, and they would stick a stalk of celery into it, and they would put it was just it just looked like the most unappetizing thing. Of course he does. Why wouldn't he? People love Johnny Silverhand. Go get it, Keanu. That being said, I like Cyberpunk. It's a great game, but the ending was no matter which ending you go with, they're all depressing. So I can't say I like that about it. Okay, we should have enough now for that lance, and then we'll take a look at what else there is to buy. Bye, bye, bye. One thing I know about Hollywood actors is they love voice work because they don't have to worry about makeup or anything like that. I already have the shield. That'll raise defense. The leather armor will not do as good, so 350 for the hat for that. I don't want to wear the dog armor the entire time, but if it's that good. You're right, but there's a lot as far as time invested versus everything else. It is worth it for folks. No makeup, no prosthetics, no production costs, sitting on set, getting a trailer, none of that. You just show up, you stand in a recording studio, and you record lines. That's all it is. Might not pay as much, but time invested is better. Let's get 350 gold, and then we'll move on to the next town. Is uh, Expedition 33 on the list? Whiskey, I swear to God. All right. Out of those, it's definitely Expedition 33. I would. Ghost of Yotai is fine. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is a pretty good game. But that's from last year. How could that be a game of the year this year? Whiskey. Hey. Oh, you're driving me nuts today. You know what's going to happen. You know good and well what's about to happen. Yeah. See, you lose privileges. You lose your window privileges when that happens. So there you go. I closed your window, and now you're up here with me. But you won't stay long, but that's okay. That's my dog, everybody. Donkey Kong Bonanza, I didn't think was really all that fun, but that was just my opinion. Death Stranding 2, everyone knows how I feel about Death Stranding. I've talked about it ad nauseum. Glorified walking simulator. That's right. Channel mascot, here he is. He doesn't like being up here. He's got boo boo face right now. I can tell. Whiskey is channel mascot, whether he believes it or not. He is definitely vocal. Why is Darth Vader trending on Twitter? What do they do now? Oh. Alright then. Everything's got to be political with some of these idiots. Some of these idiots. Everything's political. It's so funny that we lost the one of our vice presidents today. More than likely, it wouldn't surprise me at all, Alucard. It's never about who deserves it. It's about which company is willing to pay the most for it. But a year ago, the ex vice president, was so popular. No, can't afford it. The ex vice president was popular with the opposite side of his political party because of his stance on Orange Man, and now that he has died, the same people that were defending him and talking about how wonderful he was a year ago are now piling on and laughing and making fun of his passing, which is just so typical for those people. I'm sorry. I will not celebrate people losing things. I just won't. You know, it's my Twitch post yesterday. I won't celebrate people losing their jobs, especially if they were doing them in good faith. But when someone leaves and then they're like, "Well, I'm the reason that smaller channels were succeeding," it's like, "Well, where were you during my channel? Because you weren't helping me." Nintendo can afford it. Nintendo can definitely afford to grease the palms of people. But you got to remember, those award shows are all. Supposedly, there's a lot of performance issues. I think I read for online play and things like that. So you're basically, there's like two camps from what I've heard. Is that there's one camp that is about preservation, and they love it. They love the collection. And then there's another camp that's like ultra competitive fighting game people, and they're not happy with it. I don't think what those folks realize or remember is that Mortal Kombat was not known for its glorious fighting engine back in the day. Is it Men's Mental Health Awareness Month? Okay, it's June, not November. Geez, why are people saying it's this month? It can get patched, but like I said, I don't think people seem to remember that Mortal Kombat was not known for its amazingly blazing fast uh, stuff. It wasn't. It was not known for its blazing fast connections. It wasn't known for how great the fighting engine was. It was Mortal Kombat was a product of the fact that it was ultra violent during a time period when games were um, experimenting with violence. So you would see, like Doom would come out, and then there was Night Trap, of course, and we had Mortal Kombat, things like that. They were just trying to dip their toes in to see how much they get away with, and they got away with a lot until Mortal Kombat was kind of the poster child of it, but so was Night Trap. Night Trap was I did a video on Night Trap on my channel about how influential of a game it really was. If you look at it now, it's very milquetoast. It's really not that uh, violent, but at the time it was, and it got the attention of all the parents groups out there. And it became a poster child of it of the time for games. And no, I'm not kidding. That's exactly how it was back in the day. Of course, the only one that really went on, well, Doom still is around, but Mortal Kombat's the one that really kind of. The thing is, and this is what people don't get, what they didn't, parents didn't get at the time, which makes me laugh, and that is the once you establish that there needs to be like a rating system, which is what they established. They established there needs to be a rating system, and once that was in place, then it turned out where okay, fine. Now that we have a rating system, we can do whatever we want. Let's show people what violence really is. So then you got Mortal Kombat like 3 and 2 and 3, and that's where like, wow, those Mortal Kombat is violent, but Mortal Kombat 2 and 3 so much more violent. All right, let's take a look around town now. We're gonna head off into the next town. Uh, Gristle, quite frankly, the the rating system did a lot for games, but most parents still didn't care. I can tell you, from working in the industry, the rating system did do a lot. It did, but the thing is, it never made much sense. Uh, for instance, the rating system would be if you used a weapon, even if that weapon was your fist, the game was automatically rated T for teen. Except if the Ninja Turtles were always rated E, and I never understood why. Like the Ninja Turtles, because the Ninja Turtles, when I was a kid, there was a big deal about uh, kids doing ninja moves on each other, and they were getting hurt and all that. So it was not good. And then the games start coming out, and Ninja Turtles are E-rated, and it made no sense. Now they've since fixed it, where now the rating system now goes, okay, yeah, the Ninja Turtles are also should be rated T or E10, but they never the whole thing about the rating system is there was always stuff that didn't make any sense. Uh, how, like, for instance, Halo's rated M. Halo's always rated M. Fine, say rated M. Uh, Explain to me then why Grand Theft Auto is also rated M. Because Grand Theft Auto and Doom should not, and Halo should not be rated the same. Grand Theft Auto is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre compared to Halo's Sesame Street. If you're looking at it through the lens of, Charles got nerfed. Yeah, they got nerfed. Well, the funny thing is, which I didn't know this, Alucard, is that in the UK they were the Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. Ninja was a persona non grata word in the UK, and the reason why, if you go back and watch the old cartoon show and watch Michelangelo go from having nunchucks to a grappling hook, it's because nunchucks were like the one thing in the UK that was like, oh, we can't have nunchucks. It's okay to have swords. It's okay to have knives. It's okay to have guns, but we can't have nunchucks. So they replaced Michelangelo's nunchucks with a grappling hook through a lot of the series. For the UK. Not really, did they? Not like in the original. Let's take some damage. I would love to know who these parents are. My parents never complained about Ninja Turtles with my brother. My brother's a big Turtles fan. He had a whole ton of the toys and all that. Never ever did they worry about ninja moves or anything like that. All right. I got this little corgi running around with the corgi. Yeah, yeah, I remember reading that. They also had to replace the voice of Corey Feldman as Donatello because he kind of was in rehab at that point. I'm just looking to see if there's any sort of little goodies hanging around here. There are little goodies all over the place. Isn't that weird? The voice of Elmo was also the voice of Splinter. Nothing here. Okay. Yeah, that's true. He did the well. They did the turtle suits in the original movie. Did they do it in the second one too? I know Jim Henson was not happy with the what he thought was the violence of Ninja Turtles. He didn't care for that. I do know that much. Yeah, now everything's CG. The Michael Bay ones? Are you talking about the ones that had Megan Fox in them? Or are you talking about the animated one that came out with I Wish I Was Funny Seth Rogen? Turtles 3 was not very good. We have a sign. What does the sign say? Oh, I see another thing up there. Turtles in Time the game is alright. But Turtles 3 the movie is complete utter garbage. Okay, this turtle suits in Turtles 3, because they didn't wear turtle suits in Turtles 3. Those were all CG turtles. Or, I'm sorry, I mean Michael Bay's. Those were all CG. I will say, as far as the Michael Bay movies go, they're not great, but they're better than people give them credit for. And they did give us the first really good, the first Bebop and Rocksteady, and they were really, really good. Those guys had chemistry on top of chemistry. Now the crank sucked. I know we're supposed to go in there, but I want to go to the town first. Oh, that helped. But yeah, the I did like Bebop and Rocksteady in the Michael Bay ones. Seamus and Kevin Michael Richardson, I think his name is. They were funny. They had chemistry. That was about it. Well, Krang was Krang in the comic books, or was he a product of the television show? That I need. I don't remember. Uh, Eastman and Laird were very much about wanting to capitalize on their own creations, and they didn't want to have to partner in anybody else that it's up there that didn't create or have anything to do with the Turtles' creation. So a lot of the reason why we didn't get Bebop and Rocksteady and Secret of the Ooze was because Eastman and Laird didn't create Bebop and Rocksteady. Baxter Stockman they did, yes. But they did not create Bebop and Rocksteady. They were made only for the television show. So when it came to Secret of the Ooze, everybody wanted Bebop and Rocksteady. I remember my brother and I thinking it would be Bebop and Rocksteady. And then when it was Toka and Razor, we were like, what the hell is this shit? Where's Bebop and Rocksteady? We didn't understand or know that the creators of Ninja Turtles didn't create Bebop and Rocksteady. Now Nickelodeon owns all of it. So they can use Bebop and Rocksteady anywhere they want. Created for the cartoon series. Then Eastman and Laird didn't own him. So he wouldn't have been in the movies, the live action movies anyway. See, there's a lot of changes had to be made to Ninja Turtles for it to be put on television in a kids cartoon show. First of all, the headbands is probably the most famous. Yeah, is the most famous. All the turtles wore red headbands in the original comic books. When they put them on television, they changed the colors of the headbands so people could tell them apart easier. And then they added villains and things of that nature. That 1700 for a steel broadsword. Bronze shield, steel broadsword. Okay, you got it. Yeah, always follow the money, Alucard. Always follow the money. It didn't have they didn't have they didn't want to have to share the money with people that didn't create what they created. They created Shredder. They created the Foot Clan. That's the scope of what they created. It wasn't until the TV show where Krang and Bebop and Rocksteady and the Technodrome and what the Rat King and all those Leatherhead and that stuff was all created for the TV show. Playmates, basically what happens is back in the 80s what happened was is that if you had a toy line, if you had an idea for a toy line, right? Let's just take well, we'll just take Ninja Turtles, right? They take Ninja Turtles and they go, okay, this is what you have. We need to expand the universe, so your roster here, because we need more heroes and more villains. Because Playmates wanted to sell more toys. So they were very much about getting things out there so they could they were very much about creating new characters, new villains, new heroes, because they want to sell more toys, new vehicles, new play sets. Turtle Van was a Playmates thing. And like I said, now Nickelodeon's all of it, so it doesn't matter who gets what, who's in what. Now, do they owe a little bit on the backside to people? They might. I don't know how the contracts work. Not today. But I do know that there were two versions of the Turtles, and Eastman and Laird owned one version, and the Playmates owned part of the other version. So Eastman and Laird would always make money off of the Turtles, off of Shredder, off of the Foot Clan, off of Splinter, off of April O'Neil, all of that. But if you look at the Turtles expanded universe on the old TV show, and you see Krang and Bebop and Rocksteady and the Toads, the Neutrinos, they owned none of that. So Eastman and Laird continued to make a lot of money off of the IP. Don't get me wrong, but when they expand the universe to the point where there's other bad guys, there's other characters in the game that or in the movie in the show that you didn't have anything to do with, you have to share that revenue, that money that they be making off the people who actually created it. Look at Usagi Yojimbo. A lot of people think Usagi Yojimbo was created by Eastman and Laird, and he wasn't. He was created by somebody completely different. And so there were crossovers with Usagi Yojimbo, the Samurai Rabbit, and oh shit, and that's the creator Usagi Yojimbo got money off of that. Always follow the money is what I'm trying to say. Follow the money. The money will show you everything. And if something didn't happen that you wanted to happen, assume money had something to do with it. Because 9 times out of 10, it's money. Follow the money, honey. Ah, Persona concert. That's cool. They're got to have singers there for that. LA is kind of turning into like a hub of Japan now. I when I watch like a Dodgers game on TV, over half the advertisements in the background are for Japanese brands of wristwatches and whatnot because of the Shohei Ohtani and Yamamoto, I think. You went to the first ever. I went to one here outside of Chicago in Rosemont. I took some friends to one. Gosh, it's my first year, I think, with GameStop, so 2002 ish. It was excellent, absolutely excellent. Had a lot of fun at that concert. And then my girlfriend and I, Desi and I, went to downtown Chicago. This was probably about 5 or 6, 7 years ago. They did a Legend of Zelda concert, and I really enjoyed that too. Whiskey has is now laying down right here next to me and is being quiet. He's probably very upset that I closed the window on him. A long time ago, though, I really enjoyed that concert. The Zelda concert too. Yeah, Zelda. Even one of the songs, the conductor had the Wind Waker baton and used that. I thought that was really cool. Hi, Zuzi. Yeah, we'll see about that. They will maintain creative control as long as they make money. The very second they start to lose cash, the very second they do another Dragon Age, the Veilguard, they are going to be screwed and booed and tattooed. They will either get rid of or sell off whatever they need to. And trust me on that one. That's exactly how it'll work. Good news? Good news is good. If it wasn't for Madden and FIFA, EA would be in a lot of trouble. Madden and FIFA are the reason that EA is in the position. They're the reason why they're worth as much as they are, is because they do Madden and FIFA. I'll say what you want, but I'm telling you, it's truth. Exactly correct. It is their safety net. Trust me on that, I know what I'm talking about. What the hell? I must have missed with the first one. You're at home. That's great. That is good news. Most developers do have a silver bullet, so to speak, Alucard. You're correct. And what I mean by silver bullet is a game series, a game. It's just a game title that they can go back to and release at any time and make some money. You know, it's a poison pill. It's something that they can do when they need money. EA used to do it all the time. They had games they would release every year on the nose. You could set your watch to it. Madden, FIFA, Triple Play Baseball, NBA Live, college football, college basketball, Need for Speed. You know, games like that they would release every year. And hell, I remember Need for Speed used to have they would always bring up a high up and coming or an up and coming model to be the Need for Speed girl that year, like Lara Croft and Tomb Raider, when they would always have a bring on a model to be Lara Croft that year for Tomb Raider. EA did the same thing with Need for Speed. One of them has gone on to be kind of famous. Brooke Burke. Brooke Burke is. I know she hosted Dancing with the Stars for a little bit, and she was on there, and she's done other stuff. But she the first time I saw her was she was a Need for Speed girl. Now Nintendo is Nintendo's in a position that a lot of companies wish they were in, and Persona is finished. Well, good. That's good for you if that's what you wanted. But Nintendo, they could do a Nintendo Direct right now, like right now, and say we're gonna have a new Mario out in 2 weeks, and they would be fine. People would go out and buy it. It's just how it is with Nintendo. They have that level of uh, pull. Damn it, we were poisoned with their audience. Do I have a heal for that yet? Nope, I don't. But we need to go over here and recover. But a lot of companies wish they had that kind of pull with their audience that Nintendo does. Quite honestly, I know this. I should probably save. Oh, by the way, this is on the Switch too. We are playing this on the Switch too. First game I've streamed on the Switch too. Oh, hold the B button down, you get to run faster in town. Yeah, just like Disney. Disney gets away with a lot too. Although Disney is the problem with Disney right now is that they've kind of run out of goodwill with people. So they don't have that goodwill hardly anymore. At least with a lot of their fans, a lot of their customer base, they just don't have it, and they've run a lot of goodwill. So they're trying to build up that trust back. At least for Nintendo's sake, when they do release something, it's at least quality. It's when they release a Mario game, it's at least a good Mario game usually, or it's something that's going to appeal to people. Disney is starting to lose its grip. That's the thing. That's what they're fighting for is to keep to get that supposedly they're fighting to get that audience back. All they've did when you well let's be honest. Uh, you listen to a higher up talk about things, they're always going to tell you good things. They're always going to tell you good stuff. It's just what they do. Well, at least you figured it out, Zuzi. But Disney has run through a lot of their goodwill because of their stuff. They went into an area they thought that people were really into. Whiskey is like slowly moving his way off of my seat here. But Disney thought they could do whatever they wanted to, and people would still be there. And people have rejected it because a lot of the stuff that they've been pushing has to do with sex and things like that. And they're obsessed with. People are so obsessed now that are in these positions with companies where they're obsessed with trying to get through who people want to boink. And I'm sorry, when you're a kid, you really it just no, it doesn't make any sense to have that. Yeah, he's still moving. Well, I'm glad you figured it out. But Disney is has like I said, they've run out of goodwill with people, and they're trying to fight to get that goodwill back. And it's going to take a lot. They're going to have to clean a lot of things out. The narcissism is what kills me about the whole thing. Is that instead of them saying we are here for our to entertain kids, they're all about we need to show these kids that there are people out there who like the same gender and things like that, and it's like that's not the point of kids entertainment. The kids entertainment is to entertain kids, and let kids figure things out when they're ready to figure things out. Kids are smart, but they're also impressionable, and parents rejected the whole thing of taking kids to the movies and for a Disney movie and not being able. They have to watch what they're doing. That's the thing is they have to pay attention. Murky boss can be hard. In any case, so as I was saying earlier, this was my very first role playing game. The original Dragon Warrior was my very first one. I really wanted it, uh, and I know there was ooh you leveled up. I know there was a time period where Nintendo Power was giving it away for free. If you subscribed to Nintendo Power for a year, they'd send it to you for free. I didn't get it that way. I actually had to buy it retail, or my parents gave it to me for Christmas, I should say. Maybe they did get it for free, and I just don't know it. But I really wanted, damn it, I really wanted Dragon Warrior. It was called Dragon Warrior, the very first version of it. Still have it in my NES collection. Gary Sinise is a good dude. Just look up the amount of work that Gary Sinise does for um, the troops, United States troops. You'll see, I mean, what a good dude he is. He does so much for veterans and for our active military. He is a seriously good dude. Yeah, he really is. He does a lot of charitable work, and personally, I am pro military. My dad's a veteran. My grandfather has a Purple Heart from Korea, or had a Purple Heart from Korea. Served in World War II and the Korean War. I am very much pro military. They keep us safe. The reason I'm able to sit here right now and play this game for you guys is because of the blanket of freedom is provided by the people who sacrifice their lives for us. So, from what I understand, he doesn't let fame go to his head. I've never met him. I don't know, but I can just tell you from the work that he does for the military, uh, the charitable work he does for the military is, to me, is just great, and it wouldn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me at all. Hear me that he's good to kids too. Well, if Willem Dafoe ever wants to give some of his money away, I'd be more than happy to take some of it off his hands. I just, like I said, I just know about. I don't know if Gary's. I'm sorry, I don't know if what Willem Dafoe does with it for charity, but I know what Gary Sinise does, and I got nothing but mad respect for him. That's also why I have no respect for those who talk shit about our military and our veterans. Streamers included. Willem Dafoe has a creepy streak in him. Even when he's like a good guy, like he was in John Wick, it's just like, is he really a good guy? But Defoe's a hell of an actor. I'm something of a scientist myself. Oh, Dan Dillerb. But yeah, you can't say good enough good things about when you see a celebrity that does good stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, I know all celebrities donate some of their cash to a lot of needy causes, you know, and I respect each and every one of them. But have you ever heard anything bad about Gary Sinise? No. I haven't in a while since I've seen Platoon. Yeah, Keanu Reeves, another awesome person. I don't know what he donates, but I've never looked. So I just know every time I see, you know, a story about USO or something like that, and you don't see Gary Sinise's name on it, you know, next to it, it's like, what? Is he sick? Does so much. We're getting there. We'll get that sword. Just gotta say nice, see good things from good people. You know, that's what you have to know, that there are good people out there. You know, that money, you know, they say money corrupts. I don't know necessarily if it corrupts everybody. Shane McMahon's coming up. Just gotta be nice and if you have the ability, if I had the ability and the money to donate to charities, I would, but I don't have anywhere near that. They're poison frog legs. They're toxic frog legs. You don't want the frog's legs. They're toxic. They will poison you. And I am using poison in the correct vernacular. One of my pet peeves is when people get poison and people call snakes poisonous. Snakes are not poisonous. Snakes are venomous. You ingest poison. That's how it affects you. Venom is injected into you. That's the difference in the vernacular between poisonous and venomous. Yeah, I heard you say you were home already. Or I read that you said that. I didn't hear it because I'm here. Almost. Missed. It's that one and subjective and objective are the ones that really bug me. I go on the YouTube and I will see people say, even if I agree with what they're saying, but they'll say something like, "This show is objectively bad," and it's like it's not objective. It's not objective. That's subjective. Was he now? Your dog probably missed you, Zuzi. I'm sure your dog missed you. What was Kojima doing at Gorilla? I mean, Gorilla's working on probably the next Horizon, right? Kojima's biggest problem is I think he buys into his hype. No, my dog's laying next to me too, Zuzi. He's right here. I always liked Horizon as a game series, but the quality, like the first one, I thought was an excellent game, and then the second one, the expansion to the first one, I thought was okay, and then the second one I thought was just kind of, it's fine. It's not that they're bad; it's just that the quality has gone down, and they seem to be more obsessed with again identity politics than they are about making a good game. They go, "Hey, Aloy's a lesbian. Did you hear?" Yeah, no shit. He is indeed always hanging out with famous people. But he wasn't over there for no reason. There had to be a reason he was a gorilla, because that's halfway across the world, for crying out loud. Kojima, I think Kojima Productions is still in Japan, so he did go halfway across the world to get there. Gorilla, I think, is like in Denmark or Sweden or something. Go. Getting it going on here. So I will say, this is much easier than the original Dragon Quest, uh, Dragon Warrior. It definitely is much easier. You just tell you from the, it should be enough to get us the sword. Just from the way that this has gone, where we're not really been in any danger, and we are playing on normal difficulty. But the original game was kind of cutthroat. You would die, and then you'd have to go back and figure out. That's why grinding is so important in these JRPGs, these early JRPGs like this, and it's also why another reason why they don't 1700. Oh shit! I thought it was 1200. Almost there. But they would go on. They would make these games hard on purpose because they wanted you to grind. They wanted you to get as much money out of your purchase as possible, and that's how I have always looked at it. Anytime that they release like an open world game or something, and I used to defend Ubisoft about this with games like Far Cry. It's like when you spend premium price, at least you get a premium game experience out of it. Of course, Ubisoft has done a lot of stupid shit over the last several years. But they used to be a company that was all about that. But this again, this is to say how influential this game is. You talk about games that are really influential, and you look at Mario and Tetris and stuff like that. This is a very influential game for the original Dragon Quest. A lot of your JRPGs you see now, in fact, I would say damn near all of them, were directly inspired by Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest hit huge in Japan, and yeah, it's old school. But it's as old school as it can be. It's classic. It's easy, and you'll notice that they don't do a lot. Like if we play Dragon Quest IX after this, the last Dragon Quest that they made, I'm pretty sure it was the last Dragon Quest that they made. There's not a lot of changes in the gameplay. Yeah, they'll add little things, add things uh, to add to the experience, but the gameplay stuff, the turn-based gameplay, the enemies, the look, the charm is still it will be the same. They won't change all that, and it's because they fear the backlash of their main Japanese, pardon me, their main Japanese audience. They know this is what the Japanese want, and this is what the Japanese will pay for, and they're trying to make it a thing worldwide. And I think now, quite frankly, with the way that we've seen a resurgence of the turn-based JRPG, I get it. But not only are we building up for our money here, but we're also building up our level. So I don't know what the main what the level cap is, but we'll be plenty strong enough, hopefully. But it's not going to be until Dragon Quest 2 where they actually have party members, unless there's something added to this game that I don't know about yet, which is entirely possible. This game, you play through it solo in the original. That doesn't necessarily mean that's how it's going to end, though. Do they have a family plan now? Well, I thought they always had a family plan. Really? I should probably ask my dad about that. See if he wants to do that with, because then he could play all the games I had from PlayStation Plus. I got a lot of them. See, we're all good. Yeah, my dad would probably like that. Yeah, still 300 gold away. Only problem with having a family plan like that is that it's possible to kind of cheese it, right? Level 11. I love it. Whiskey is doing his best to want to get down, but he's so funny. Oh. Da da do 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 do. I'm looking for communication about my health insurance. Sadly, I have to use the healthcare stuff from the governments, but because I don't, this is my job. I don't have a place of employment. I work for myself, so I really want to. And I filled out my stuff, but I haven't heard anything back yet, so kind of waiting to see. It should. We looked into it. Yes. Still might do it. Waiting to see. I got a really good rate on some health insurance here. And if I get the rate that they promised, I had to submit all my stuff for it. If they accept it, then I am in like Flint. I still might go that route. I haven't decided yet because, like I said, I'm looking at the rates. Uh, if I get the rate on Illinois that Illinois has promised, because I live in Illinois, it's a good rate. But I have to wait and see. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're making sure it's not looking over surprises. The thing is I'm in for someone about to be 50. I'm actually in pretty good shape. Oh yeah, absolutely. Um, I don't necessarily have any big health problems. I have high cholesterol, but who doesn't? Um, and I still need to get tested for, once you hit 40, there are certain things you need to get tested for, and I'm no different. Uh, but I don't have any chronic illness. I don't have any pain. I don't have, well, I shouldn't say I have any pain, but I don't have anything that's like really bad wrong with me. So I know I'm fortunate, and I'm just kind of counting the days. I don't need a hugely robust health plan, at least not yet. So trying to keep my head above water on that. That's the kind of shit that we. And health insurance is a pain in the ass, quite honestly. But if I get the rate that they said on the website, then I'm gonna be all right. Damn. In fact, one of those tests I have to get done this month, which is without getting into the gory details of what it is. They are not fun. They are not fun tests, but we've come a long way with the way tests have gone in that area over the last probably 15 years, where it's not as bad as it used to be. Because my dad used to get those tests, or my dad gets those tests done, he would go through where it was just a big time pain in the ass, and boy, oh boy. Almost finally got enough for the sword. No, 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 no. Just fight. And believe me when I tell you, my girlfriend is knows a lot about Desi. She knows a lot about the fine print of health insurance and all that. She's had to deal with a lot of things in her life. So when we sat down and looked at it, we made sure we were looking at the right stuff. The only thing I'm concerned about now is if they accept the rate. That's all. I have to wait for the approval for them to accept the rate. Part of the reason that it's taking so long is these guys keep running away. Stop running away. There'll be some stuff I'll have to pay for, but when I'm saying that it's kind of insane that the amount I would have to pay for the monthly premium if I get the tax credit, which I should, uh, is rather insane. I'll have to pay a little bit to go see my doctor and pay a little bit for tests and things like that. But the premium is so cheap that it doesn't bother me. As long as I get the premium, that's the important thing. Draining my MP. What's wrong with you? Hey, we got enough for the sword. Let's go get the sword. Of course, we're still got there's like a new shield too, but one thing at a time. We want to get the best weapons and armor so we can be well equipped to make sure we're handling what the game can throw at us. These games, these Dragon Quest games, I'm dead serious when I say this. They can go from being easy to being very hard in the drop of a hat. So 680 for the shield. Quick little safety save. Just sucks that health insurance costs what it does, but that's because here in our country we have yet to get any sort of reform on medical malpractice lawsuits. Sadly, the way it is here in the States. And of course, I'm not. I really don't want there to be government-run healthcare. I really hate that. But the biggest problem we have in the United States is medical malpractice, where you kind of have, well, you don't kind of have, you have doctors who are scared to death to not go far enough to test for things. Like if you go to the doctor right now and you say you're looking for, oh, I don't, I have a sore throat, the doctors have to test you basically for anything under the sun, because if they miss something, there could be a medical malpractice lawsuit. And it does suck. Yeah, they do. Well, Kojima loves American cinema. Like, he absolutely adores American cinema, and he loves the actors. I think he loves the clout. Quite frankly, he does get a lot of clout from doing that. But Kojima, he's always been a big American cinema guy, and I guess a lot of people now, a lot of actors and directors and stuff grew up playing his games, so he's got an in there. I believe in the wrestling world they call Kojima a mark, where he just marks out for he's just such a huge fan of American cinema that he wants whatever he can get and all the clout he can get and of course it does well for him as well because he casts the actors in his games. That's got Norman Reedus in his games and folks like that. So of course the hilarious thing is to think about is the whole Kiefer Sutherland thing with Solid Snake. David Hayter has been the voice of Solid Snake for damn near every game, and we thought he was really into it, and he is really into it. Like he loves the character, he loves the fact that people know him as Solid Snake. But behind the scenes, Kojima was apparently not ever really happy with his voice as Solid Snake, and kept trying to find ways to uh, put somebody else in until Metal Gear Solid 5, and he cast Kiefer Sutherland as Solid Snake or Big Boss, and really pissed off David Hayter. But Hayter returned from in Delta, which I still haven't played yet. I still have it, but I haven't played it yet. Because I kind of have this thing about Metal Gear Solid 3 that I kind of like it and I kind of don't. So for me, it's like I don't want to start streaming it if I'm not going to be able to enjoy it and play it. But just how I am. Whiskey is still trying to get up. But she can get up if he wants to. I'm not Hassan. He can do what he wants, but he's still laying here like he's comfortable, but he wants to get up. Hey, David Hayter has like no desire, as far as I've heard, to ever work with Hideo Kojima again. Apparently, he did not like working with Kojima as much as we liked hearing him work with Kojima. How about Kojima? One thing I know about people, Alucard, is that money talks and bullshit walks. If Kojima were to go to David Hayter right now and say, "Hey, let's get the band back together and do this," Hayter would probably do it. Yeah, numbers have to be right. I think for Hayter though, it's more about respect. Hayter was Solid Snake through all those games before, and apparently Kojima didn't even call him or anything. It was just like, hey, we can't. He found out like everybody else that Kiefer Sutherland had been cast. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying at all that we should confuse the fact that Kiefer Sutherland or David Hayter's a bigger star than Kiefer Sutherland. He's not. Uh, but still, when you have a legacy like that, I think at least a phone call would be nice. Where you get them together and where you call them on the phone and you say, "Hey, just so you know, appreciate your time with the character, but we're going in a different direction this time. If you'd like, we could still use you here, something like that. But we're trying to see what'll happen if we put David Hayter there instead." That would have made a hell of a lot more sense. But according to from what I heard, David Hayter, he didn't even get that. He didn't get an email. He didn't get a phone call. It wasn't a thank you. He didn't get anything. It was just he found out that he had been replaced the same way we all found out he'd been replaced. Correct. Yeah, it would be just like, to me, the way I look at it is, if Charles Martinet was still doing the voice of Mario, and in the next Mario game they cast the next Mario game they cast Chris Pratt to be Mario, and yeah, Chris Pratt is the bigger star, absolutely, but he's not the voice of Mario the way that a lot of us grew up with. So 680. But yeah, I definitely look at that as, and Hader has a right to be upset. That's again, that was his role for 20 some odd years, or not 20 some odd years, 10 some odd years or whatever it was, and to find out that you're just you've been replaced makes him mad, and I don't blame him, especially the way he found out. Almost. And then we're gonna go into that cave. I do want to replace this dog armor. There we go. Now we got enough. Let's go buy the shield. I have got the pee, but it's almost time for lunch. Quick little save here so we can make sure we're all right. Ah, nose itching like crazy. Well, I didn't mean to do that, but I just did it. Okay, so our cave we're going to is down over here. Not particularly worried about. We're high up in level as far as I can tell. I don't see any bad stuff. Now one of the things that they did in the original game, at least for to a point, was they gave you made in the first dungeon at least you had to have the torch, a torch, torches because they would burn out. they made the caves, the dungeons, insanely uh, uh, dark. So you had to have torches in order to see somewhat around you, or have a map. You could go now. You can go online and find the maps that have them there. But and the way these dungeons work in Dragon Quest is that the first uh, level or so are going to be easy, and then you as you go down, the enemies get harder and harder. Here's our first dungeon, right? Let's see if they still make us need a torch or something. Okay. Statuses here tell me that they're going to poison us a lot. Oh, we have people here. This is new. This didn't happen in the original game. Zuzi, it's called playing the game, okay? Just you're not stuck. You're just trying to figure out where to go next. Okay. Did they drop something? They did not. Okay. So we do have a map in the upper left-hand corner, so that's cool. We want to explore this. I don't know if there's any. I mean, I'm sure there's treasure chests around here, things that we need to collect. Like there's a chest right there. Oh, my favorite, leveling up. We have evac. That's a good spell. A divine dagger. We can sell that. There's a chest up there. I can see it. Sandstorm scroll. Okay, we learned a spell. There's a barrel. Sometimes they hide seeds in barrels. or coins. So always try to, it's like any other RPG. You want to explore your dungeons and try to make sure you find everything you possibly can. You never can tell. I don't know because this is a remake. If there's any good weapons or armor down here that are better than what I'm using, considering how much grinding we did for the money to buy this sword, I would be shocked if there was a better weapon than our broadsword down here. But finding stuff we can sell for new weapons, because there's going to be better weapons, is and armor is good. Okay, dragon scale raises our defense 5, so why not? That's the way down. That's right. Check everything. Go everywhere. Try to check all the dead ends. Look for the stuff. Whiskey is so funny. Looks like we've cleaned this area out so we can go downstairs. There's a chest. Yep, right there. It is almost lunchtime, and I have got to pee like a racehorse. So it'll be a big time pee break for me. Desi's here, so I know I need to take lunch so we can hang out, or we get to hang out for the hour. But you see that this is a lot easier because of the grind that we did to get the best weapons and armor that we can. Oh, many medals are in this game. We have 3 pots over here. Vial of magic water. Medicinal herbs. 103 coins. Yeah, let's go ahead and do a quick lunch break. So I'm going to go ahead and break for lunch about an hour, and I'll come back. We'll pick up right here where we're leaving off. I can leave right here because it's Switch, and the Switch has the Switch 2 has a memory on it, so that's good. If you have not done so yet, please feel free to follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and Rumble. Subscription on YouTube would be great as well. Trying to become monetized on all platforms. I know I'm monetized on Rumble, but I've only made like a nickel there so far. Monetized on Twitch. YouTube I'm working on, so whatever you guys can do to help me with that, I'd appreciate it. It's free, and it really helps, get me out there. 677 gold already. Oh, it's because I've been opening up chests. So don't go far, guys. Give me about an hour, and I'll be back. We'll pick up right where we're leaving off. More Dragon Quest 1 HD Remake coming at you guys, okay? So stick around for the music. I'll be back in about an hour. Bye.